welcome back to the edgeonair.com. This is your boy Retro J. This is the Nitekap, and yo, Brandon Musa is here. That was Black Rose from his album Trials of a Soul back in 2016, right, Brandon?
Yep.
Back in 2016.
3 years ago, bro.
That was that song right there. Some of the most requested by the Cappers. They love that song, and like I was telling you just a minute ago while we was off, that when I first heard that song, bro, I almost messed up. I actually did mess up because I ain't had nothing playing after that because I was actually listening to the lyrics of that one.
Yeah.
That one came from the heart. You saying that one came from the true soul on that one, right?
For sure, man. That came from a real place, bro.
So what exactly inspired? What might have inspired that one? Did something happen in your life or something?
Just a combination of things. I come from a family that's very we're very into history.
Okay.
Our Black history, American history, and so just that song just came from a place of just feeling like wanting to see the underdog succeed.
Yeah.
I've always been like that sort of person to speak up for the underdog. So the Black Rose really represents the person that's really not put on a pedestal, and that's why you hear in the song it says the black rose that grew from the concrete, a beautiful black rose. Regardless of what you're going through, the black rose is still beautiful. So
right.
A lot of that came from just a place of feeling like being isolated, you know, in the inner cities and things like that. Like kids, we growing up as kids, like you feel isolated from the rest of society because you might not have as much as other people.
Right.
But if you can find a beauty in it, then you can. You know, you can make it. So like that's where that really just came from.
Okay,
honestly, man.
Okay, and you're from Chicago.
From Chicago, yeah.
So what side are you from?
So two. I grew up uptown. I don't know if you uptown on the north side. Also Inglewood. So
okay,
my family's from Inglewood, so I'm like I got dual citizenship in Chicago.
my mother is actually from Inglewood. Yo, she went to,
okay.
Yeah, she's from Inglewood.
Where about?
She's 60th and St. Lawrence.
Okay, that ain't too far. We was 60th for normal.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah, that's where she grew up. That's where my grandparents and stuff were from. So yeah, right around there too. So,
okay, that's crazy. From the same neck of the woods.
Same neck of the woods. All right. So in Trials of a Soul, you actually said, "I never planned to be a rapper. That's just how it happened." So what made you start rapping then? What made you keep going?
So what made me start? I started poetry.
Okay.
So I started as a poet.
Okay. Doing spoken word, things like that?
Spoken word. I still do it, as you can hear, like in a lot of my music.
Yeah.
It's a lot of poetry in it. So like I started just poetry, and then just like kind of the natural progression was just kind of being absorbed with hip hop my whole life growing up, you know, in the inner cities, right? Like that's all we listened to.
Right.
So I kind of like naturally like went to that phase of just hip hop. It was just something that it was natural for me. Been doing it for, I've been writing and recording. I think I recorded my first song at like 15. Or something
wow!
Like that. You won't find the tapes, and I'm glad you won't. Wasn't that good?
I mean, it's a start. You just
wasn't
a
that
jump
good.
start. I mean, you heard my intro. You know what that was. That was like
I wasn't that good. But not like so for me, like it was just poetry, and just wanting to express myself and. What I try to do a lot in my music is express myself, but also tell other people's stories along the way. I try to do that in my music. Hopefully that comes across.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that later.
Because
you told some stories in this one, and I was like, I wonder where that came from, if that was true or anything like that. So we're going to definitely get to that. We're gonna
I ain't going to jump the gun on
So, but actually in Trials as well, it was seemed like it's actually said that it's an introspective dive into your personal experience, and you're from Chicago. It has an amazing culture, but it has a negative stigma behind it. And Chicago does.
Yeah, of course.
Gangs and violence, and being from the city, I don't really hear the gangs and violence in your music. Most of your stuff is about dreams. It's about royalty, heritage, like you talked about. It's all positive. So those are what influenced those lyrics coming out of Chicago rather than like the gang violence and stuff, because we hear a lot of that coming out in these hip hop artists in Chicago as well.
Yeah. So
what influenced all this just positive energy that came in that's in your lyrics?
I think, man, honestly, I just never wanted it to be a product of my environment.
Okay.
Even though I was in the environment, I grew up, you know, when we grew up literally in the drug area, right? Like our building was like where they sold drugs out of, and so like just not want to be a product of that, right?
Yeah.
Like I can see that every day.
Okay.
But if I don't want to talk about that every day.
Right.
I never really wanted to talk about the things that I'm trying to get away from.
Okay.
And I bring that with me on my journey because it makes me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel the need to talk about the gang violence, all of that, because it's just, I mean, I feel like number one, it's repetitive.
Yeah.
It's repetitive. And number two, it's not really going to do anything for us as a people.
True. Very true.
So like, I just always have danced to my own tune, bro.
Right.
From when I was a kid. Like my brothers can tell you, like I've always been my own man. I've always done what I wanted to do, and like you said, the dreams. That's something that I'm a dreamer.
Yeah.
I've been a dreamer since I was born. I always stood in one place and dreamed of another place.
Okay.
And so this music is a vehicle to try to get me to that next place, and then, like I said, incorporate other people along the way. It's never just been about me.
Okay.
And that's what keeps me sane and what keeps me dreaming is the fact that it's not a singular journey.
Right.
I got people that are on this journey with me, and I want to see them succeed too.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And then like outside, people start to hear your music outside of Chicago. They like that you don't want to. You want to move them away from that stigma, as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Chicago is a beautiful city. It has beautiful, beautiful things, but the way it's portrayed in the media right now, it's like, it's kind of, it looks kind of like almost evil, almost like in
a way,
almost hellish But we know, being from Chicago, it's beautiful. It has a huge culture background and background behind it. So, like me being a Chicagoan, I appreciate the fact that you do just throw all the positive energy you have into your music, because outside of the city, it's like, somebody outside the city, if they heard that, they would be like, oh, a lot of people are scared to come to Chicago. Bro.
And I'm going to tell you, so I used to work in hotels, hotel management for years. And like, I always got that coming in the city, like people will come in the city and they'll be afraid to leave downtown or whatever, but they love Chicago. And so I started thinking to myself, like, man, what is it about Chicago that out-of-towners really love?
Man.
But they just afraid of? Like, if you really go into the city, you meet some good people.
You do.
Like, it's not all gang violence.
Right.
And I have to tell them all the time, it's not all gang violence.
Right.
But you won't see that on the media.
Exactly.
Unless you got people that's willing to speak up and say, hey, look, I'm not going to perpetuate the status quo. I'm going to tell you how it really is. That's a thing. Gang violence is real. I'm not going to lie and say it's not.
It's there.
It's definitely there. But like a person like you and I grew up in the city my whole life. You know what I mean? And I don't need to beat my chest and say I'm affiliated this, that. For what?
Right. Exactly.
Well, we grown men.
Exactly. There's no need for that. So I mean, you mentioned your brother earlier.
Yeah.
And then he also had a birthday this past week. Happy birthday. So would you say your family and your upbringing had a lot of influence on your music as well?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. We grew up close. Like all my brothers, we kind of grew up close.
Got your brother with you?
My brother with me was also my manager.
Oh, you see, got to keep it close. Definitely.
Close to the chest, man. That's how we roll. We roll tight. So like we just grew up together. And we kind of like created our own bubble.
Okay.
In the middle of the chaos, we had our own thing going on to where it was like our house. Honestly, growing up, our house was the place to be for all the kids on the block. Because we just kept that energy around us that was just like fun, and it was different from what was outside.
Okay.
We talked, we played the duds and we did all that, but we made sure that we always had a moral of the story at the end.
Okay.
So and so that's kind of how my music has transitioned.
Okay.
From that.
And then. You have a song called "The Resistance" on Trials as well. You mentioned your father leaving and being hooked on drugs. Is that how's your relationship with your dad now?
It's not bad, but it's not really existent.
Okay.
We're cool, but so it's like this. I have no animosity towards him. I love him, but we haven't built a solid relationship over the years. So it's one of those things where it's just nothing. It's not much stake in the game.
There's no foundation
behind it. But I love him.
Yeah.
And I wish him well. And he called me yesterday and I talked to him.
Okay.
We have no ill will.
Okay.
We have no ill will.
Okay. The Cure, that's on Indian Summer.
Yeah.
You mentioned your mom. You mentioned your mom on there. How's she doing?
So that was one of the questions that that stumped me a little bit.
Okay.
My mom actually passed away last year.
Okay, because on the Cure,
Yeah.
she mentioned. You mentioned her and then cancer, correct?
Correct.
And I was wondering, like, is she still there? I wonder if she's still around because you never mentioned anything.
Right.
Like that.
So the conclusion is that she did end up passing from cancer last October. Thank you, man. I actually came up on the anniversary, October 13th of her passing. But yeah, that song is super powerful.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever done in my entire career, because it's so personal, but it's also so connected.
Mm-hmm.
So when I perform it, like I have not performed that song not once where someone hasn't come up to me and said that they were helped by it or crying. Like we did a show on a rooftop. Was that 2 months ago? Mm-hmm. About 2 months ago, and I had this guy. Shout out Manny. I tell this story all the time, man. I got done doing a song, and it's this Hispanic guy with braids, right? Like walking up to me. I'm getting ready to go to the next song. He comes walking up to me with his arms like this. Initially, I was kind of like a little hesitant, like, okay, what's going on, bro?
Right.
You know, but then like once I saw he got close to me, he just had his arms open with tears in his eyes, and he just came up and gave me a big hug.
Oh man!
And like I'm thinking, this is gangster, you know, with the braids.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like a dope moment. He was like, man, my dad is battling cancer now too, and you don't even understand what you just did for me. The strength that you displayed to stand up here and talk about your mom, and she's gone, and to still do that song to help other people.
Yeah,
dude, it gives me chills now, man. Like, we did a cancer benefit show for her 2 days before her funeral. She was supposed to be at that show, but she ended up not making it, obviously. And then instead of canceling it, we went ahead with the show, and it was dope. We packed the house out, and we raised some money for cancer. Bryson and them was there. It was dope. But she loved that song too. That's one thing I love about it. She was able to hear that song.
Oh, good, man. Turning like some sorrow moments into some positive things.
Some positive, man. Yeah. And it's so much power in that song. And I know I'm being long-winded with that song, but the reason because I love that song so much. Another quick story about that song, and I'll make it quick. When my mom was sick, she's in the hospital. She wasn't doing too well, and we didn't know what was gonna go on with her. My brother Darnell right here, he before I even recorded the song, I had wrote it, and he told me, "Hey, look, man, why don't you perform that song for her right now?" So I performed that song at my mom's bedside.
Oh wow!
When she was still here, I performed that. My grandmother was there. He was there. This is a story I've never told before.
Wow.
Dude, they told her that they didn't know what was going to go on with her when she was going to leave. The very next morning, she was released from the hospital.
Man.
She told me, and I said, "Ma, how you feeling?" She said, "Thank you." She said, "You don't understand the power of words." And the power of the words that I spoke into her spirit at that moment is something that I always take with me. That's why that song sticks with me, because my mom literally walked out of the hospital the next morning based on the energy in the words that I told. The energy in the room changed her biological makeup. And words are powerful, bro.
You were preaching. That's
words
what you
are
were
powerful.
doing. You were preaching in there, man, and that's when you brought the Holy Spirit in there. And
yeah, for sure, man. And that's why in the song I say the cure for cancer is inside your smile.
Yeah,
you know, my mom was cured from cancer before she left here.
Man,
you know, she was cured from cancer.
Yeah.
Cancer didn't take her out. You know, it can only take you out if you wanted to. But,
she was free.
She was free. She was free.
Man. Yo, we're going to be right back with more with Brandon. I'm going to take a quick break. And then also, of course, I got Father Time. I'm sitting here talking to Brandon, and I forgot about my segments because we so into these stories. Man. Bro, that's what good radio is. When I get stories, we get stories about things, especially things that people have never heard before, and you can actually get to your heart. So I really appreciate that, and I know everybody does too. So you got more stories, man. Let them out. We here. You know what I'm
stories
saying?
For days,
you
man.
know, so we here at the Nightcap, theedgeonair.com. Make sure you continue to stay tuned. the Edge on Air Facebook page. We live in studio, as well as the Nitekap's IG page at _NITEKAP22. We'll be right back in just a second. Yo, welcome back to the edgeonair.com. This is Retro. I'm your host, Retro J. This is the Nitekap. Yo, we got Brandon Musa here, but of course, right now what it is Father Time. This is the time where I tell you all about what you can do in your relationships or your marriages, or if you're a dad, a mom, or whatever you need to do. Keep your relationships fresh, keep your marriages fresh, all that wonderful stuff, what you can do as a father. And I'm going to say daddy daycare time. As a father, of course, you know, what you can do to help out with your kids and everything like that. So, first things first, this is for the fellas this time, y'all. Last time we did something for the ladies, but this one is going to be for the fellas. So let me tell you this. Do not ever in your life downplay what your significant other or your wife does. Now, there are gonna be times when you actually have to step in and play like the mom role or everything, something like that, because they may be, you know, they may be out with their girls or something like that, or they on a girls trip, or they might be stuck at work or something. So you like playing that whole role where you're being dad and mom, or you might have to play like the wife role where you're helping out somebody's friend, you're helping out her friend or something of that nature. But take it from experience, y'all. Do not overplay, do not overstep your bounds, because I'm telling you, they get upset when they feel like you're doing it better than them. It's straight up real. I'm being honest with you. I'm being absolutely honest with you. It is straight up real. They get upset about that. I'm telling you. And don't tell them, and don't ever say like, hey, you know, I did this a little better than you. Don't ever do that either, because I'm telling you, whatever they do, they'll stop doing it for a little bit, then you realize how much you need them. I mean, Brandon, you can hop in them if you ever experienced
I'm sitting here laughing because you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Telling you,
I wouldn't dare.
I'm telling you, like, don't even if you realize that you can do it a little better than them, just, you know, downplay it a little bit. Don't do it as well, because I'm telling you, they get upset. Next thing you know, something that you used to them doing, you're like, well, what happened? And they're like, well, you could do it yourself, can't you? So you don't want to play that role. You don't want that to happen to you. So like, that's what I'm saying. I'm putting that out there for you fellas, and that's actually helping the ladies as well. Do not overextend yourself when you doing your woman's part, or the female part in a relationship or in your marriage. All right, just making sure y'all understand that. Also, something for if you just being the dad. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story about this too. I just put my son in boxing. Stuff is exciting. I was really excited about it. He was really excited about it. He's 6. He's 6, by the way. So I'm like, you know, he's a little light-skinned guy and curly hair and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, we need to put you in something, because when you get older, they're going to test you. Yeah, they're going to test you. So I put him in boxing. I'm like, this is going to be exciting. I asked him, I'm like, you know how to jump rope, because they're going to make you do that. He's like, yeah, I could do it. I can jump rope. I do it in the gym. I'm like, cool. Take him to boxing, and it was like a train wreck, bro. It's like watching a really bad car accident. My son is very good at music, and he's very good, very smart, very mathematical genius. Athleticism, we working on it. Coordination, we working on it. And I actually put him in the gym with some other kids, and I mean, apparently I guess they've been boxing for a little bit. They had hands. And I'm like,
you weren't ready for that, huh?
I wasn't ready. I mean, mind you,
you weren't ready for
I
that.
wasn't ready for it. He was like, he's in there having a ball. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, I was proud dad moment. I'm going to pull up my phone, you know, go ahead, record this, show this to my friends. Like, look what my son is doing. And we got started, and I brought my phone down and put it in my pocket. Like, delete that video. But, and so I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, we can't do this. He looks bad. You know, I'm like, hopefully... we only paid for the first thing. Hopefully he'll be like, I don't want to do this or something like that, and then we don't have to come back. We got done. I was like, how'd you like it? He was like, I loved it. I can't wait to come back tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you this. I was the whole day, the next day, I knew I had to take him back the next day, and I was just like, I don't want to see this. It looks so bad. You do not want to see your kids struggle. No. That's one thing you don't want to see is them struggle. But I had to come to the conclusion, like, just because I felt that way about how he looked doesn't mean I need to hold him back from it. Because especially, I had to remind myself it was the first day. I had to remind myself he's 6. Mm-hmm. He's still getting his coordination back. So I was like, I'm going to take him back. And the next day, I worked on him with his jump roping and things like that. Some quick things I can probably I watched or whatever, his stance and everything like that. And I'm like, I took him back, and it was much better. And actually, the other kids in there, they helped him out because they're older than them. They helped him out, and he got more acquainted with it. But my son never got shook at all. At all. The whole time he was there, he was just in his own world, loving it.
Trooper.
So yeah, so I'm saying this, y'all, the dads out there, moms out there, just because you feel a certain way about how your kids may be struggling in that situation, if they love it, let them do it. Don't deter them from doing it. Don't give them any negative encouragement. Negative words about it or anything like that. Don't even try to encourage them to get out of it. If they love it, let them do it, because if their heart is in it, they're going to get better at it. And next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you like, oh, you out there looking like a pro. So that's just some words of encouragement. That was Father Time from your boy Retro J as usual. Y'all got any questions, let me know. Of course, I got Father Time every week when we come in here. So, and then we got big homie Brandon is here, so we need to talk to him. We got to ask him more questions. We got plenty of stuff to do and we've been on air for an hour already. So, and I got a lot of questions. So let's keep it going. Let's definitely keep it going. So here's this. So your music is like, Brandon, a mix between conscious rap, spiritual guidance, living your life to the fullest. What would you consider your genre of hip hop to be? Like conscious rap, spiritual hip hop? I'm only saying this, I'm asking this question because I actually went and saw Rap City yesterday, and one thing they asked her about previously was they asked her, do you consider yourself to be a conscious rapper? And she said she doesn't like that term. She says she thinks everybody's conscious. So what do you think that she just raps? So what would you consider yourself kind of genre of hip hop to be?
That's a good question. I think I kind of got to echo Rhapsody. It's not that I don't like it. I embrace it, but I kind of agree. Like, I think conscious, like when you say conscious rap, that like puts you in a box, right? Like they try to put you in a box, like because you're conscious, you can't be also aware of other things. Like you're just so conscious, so out of the space, and,
right.
You know, like there's a stigma with that. With the spiritual aspect, obviously, you know, I have my spiritual beliefs, and they come across in my music.
Yeah, they do.
More of it is just more connectivity to life, like less than talking about religion and all of that. More like connecting to God and connecting to people.
Right.
Connecting God to people, people to God, people to people. So I honestly don't know what category I fit in. To be honest with you, like she said, I just do it.
Yeah.
I don't really think about categories. I don't really think about, because I might make a song, if it feels good to me, I'll make a song that I'll try anything as long as it's within my values. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah.
You mentioned faith a lot. You mentioned God a lot in your stuff. So why do you feel it's important to mention God and faith in your music? And like, what's your denomination, first of all? You got one? You just
not really. So I grew up obviously Christian. I grew up in a Pentecostal apostolic church.
Okay.
So a lot of my values kind of reflected that.
Yeah, they do.
I got a little older, and you know, now my values kind of reflect not necessarily picking a specific denomination or like putting myself in a spiritual box and saying I gotta be this way, because I know all over the world I've tried, you know, not you know, all over the world, you know, people have different ways of viewing religion, God, and I don't like to get into that debate with people. You know, I stay away from that. You know, whatever works for you, cool. I love you, brother. You know, let's go eat some sushi or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, honestly, I'm not really into the denominations anymore.
Okay, that's fair. And I mean, but even though you don't have a denomination, you mention Bible verses in your music. Yeah. You talk about faith and having faith and how God uplifts you all the time, and how it's important to have that spiritual connection with God. Why do you think that's important to put in? Why do you put that in music so much?
Primarily because it's I like to make my music a mirror of who I am. So if you walk with me, you'll get to listen to my music. You walk with me. And vice versa. You walk with me, you listen to my music. So I wouldn't hide that part of me from the world, because this is who I am. Right. I believe in this. And number two, like I said, I'm about connectivity, right? Like, so you can believe in God or not believe in God. That's your business. Right. I personally think it's just better to believe in it than to not believe in it. Just personally, because it's just, I feel it. Like I feel the energies and the vibrations of God.
Okay.
When I meet certain people and when I'm in certain rooms, like in this room right now.
Oh, good, absolutely good.
Like in
he's
this
here.
room, yeah, like in this room right now. And I think people get it twisted. They go into the whole church thing, but no, God is like, in my opinion, God is everywhere you are. Like you can channel Him in any channel, the energy, in any if you diligent enough and you pure enough, you know what I mean, like to really genuinely want it,
You'll feel it.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
You mentioned Lord forgive, and one of your lyrics is Lord forgive me for my sins. I wasn't given the map. You said the Bible is my guide, but it's so full of tainted facts. Do you feel this way about the Bible? Do you really feel that way about the Bible? Like the Bible is full of tainted facts? I'm asking this question for myself.
Okay.
I'm asking this question for myself.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
So, yes and no. So, at the Bible as a whole, do I feel like it's all tainted? No. I do feel like parts of it, just in me researching, some of it doesn't make as much sense to me.
Right.
Just from a logical standpoint, but that's just my logic. And that's what comes into my lyrics. My logic goes into my lyrics.
Yeah.
As a whole, I read the Bible. I believe the Bible. However, I do know that there are certain parts of it that's why I said that you say the Bible is my guide, but it's full of tainted facts. Yeah. This came at a time in my life where I was in the trials of a soul era, where I was like kind of like questioning a lot of things, and I was like trying to find my voice and trying to find my footing. So a lot of it was just raw and real and just honest. Yes, I'm asking a question.
Yeah,
I'm just for dialogue, right? So a lot of what I said in there was just for dialogue.
I think that I actually thought that was real interesting because I mean you said that was a couple years ago when you were actually like in that mode, and so that was like maybe 30, 28 to 30, something like that in your 20s.
Yeah.
And me right now, even at the age of 37, when I read the Bible, I believe in everything that the Bible is teaching and all of that, and I definitely believe in God and all of that. But when it comes to the Bible, I've known it's been destroyed so many times. I've known it's been rewritten so many times, and it's different points of views from different people.
Right.
But as long as you believe in what it's teaching and the faith of God, then I believe I'm all for that. Definitely all for that. And so I really thought when you said that line, I was like, I had to go back on that one. I was like, I got to ask this brother this question because I mean, when it comes to the Bible, I'm like, I don't necessarily need to read everything in there because I know it has its tainted facts. So
and then the next line after that is, if history repeats itself, then why are we not back to the days when we were kings and queens? I'm tired of living trapped.
Yep.
And so that kind of like is what I was really baffled about with the Bible was the whole. I'll be honest, this is something that always bothered me, and because we talking about it, it always bothered me. It was in the Old Testament when they said, "Slaves, obey your masters."
Yeah.
That I still can't get with that, and I understand the era that it was written in.
Yep.
So when I say tainted facts, I say it's sort of hypocritical to say, slaves obey your master. Put that in the Bible. It's almost like a form of control.
Yep.
Right. It's a form of control, and I feel like throughout the years, people have used the Bible to control other people.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of really speaking to, the tainted facts and how people can use this to control whole races of people, whole groups of people, displace people. The Bible was really used for that. That's a fact.
Yeah.
It actually was used for that purpose.
And there's actually, it sounds like laws, which are still in place in certain areas today. So, I mean, deep stuff, brother. Yeah. Deep stuff. We can talk about that all day. We can definitely talk about that all day.
We can go that place, but let's.
But yo, so speaking to go, I'm gonna go ahead and play Brandon Muse's song "Go" because this is a dope song as well. Everybody likes this one as well. And then after that, I'm gonna play "No Phones from Heaven" because I got some questions on that one.
Okay,
right?
Let's do it.
So let's do that real quick. I'll be right back. TheEdgeOnAir.com, Retro Dre, the Nightcap. Be right back, y'all. Yo, welcome back to TheEdgeOnAir.com. This is your boy Retro J. This is the Nightcap, and that was Brandon Musa, No Phones from Heaven. Bro, that is a powerful, powerful song, bro.
Appreciate it,
Powerful
man.
song, man. When I heard that one, I was like, I gotta ask questions about this one.
Let's do it.
It's too live, right? So check it.
Yeah.
Got a quick question. The track begins, how do we get to this place where technology matters more than human life? And that was in the song about the wars between the soul. Is it about the war between? Is the song about the war between like the soul and technology? That's what I kind of grasped that from. So how did you come across like the battle between the soul and like technology? How'd you get that one?
So the song really came about from an experience I had. So I was sitting in my car and I was writing a song. I don't remember what I was writing. I think I was writing another song during the Trials of the Soul days. And as I was sitting in my car, there was like a kid. He was like walking across the street.
Oh man!
And like he was on his phone, just not paying attention to what he was doing. And it was a lady. She was coming up to the stop sign, but she was getting ready to blow the stop sign because she had her hand in her. You know, she was all in her phone too. So I was like watching it. I picked my pen up and I'm looking, and I'm watching this. I'm like, yep. Something about to happen. So I honked my horn as loud as I could, and then she looked over at me and she jerked and stopped, and she just stopped right in front of the kid. And right then and there, I stopped writing what I was writing, and I wrote this song in like 20 minutes.
Dude.
Because it was just like that energy around that scenario. It made me just realize how technology has brought us closer but pushed us so far apart.
Yep.
You know, and that's kind of what the song was. You're right.
Man, I mean, and that was like my next question, because you actually just explained it to me. Like you had that story about it, and it was about a mother and two children and someone texting and driving.
Yeah.
And and I was going to ask you if that was actually an experience you had. So clearly that came right from that spot.
Yeah. So that was an exaggeration of what I saw.
Right.
The story that you heard in there wasn't an actual story, but I'm pretty sure it's happened somewhere in the world.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it was for me. It was just like we talked earlier. Like I tried. I'm a dreamer. I'm a thinker. Like I try to think about
right, of course,
other things, and you know, outside of my community, outside of where I see the world. I'm pretty sure that story has happened somewhere, and I took the story that I saw that wasn't a fatal story.
Yep.
And I pushed the envelope to say, hey, this could really go to this place if we're not careful.
Yep.
You know, if we don't, you know, treat each other right, and we don't pay attention to each other.
Yo, y'all make sure, because like he said, he elaborated on the story, and like he said, you know, from the experience, it wasn't fatal, but in the actual lyrics, it was. And you all need to listen to No Phones from Heaven, because like that story, like I was like, that hit me in the heart. Yo, welcome back to the edgeonair.com. I'm your host, Retro J, and check it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the music and movies that just came out this past week. So typically I always have some music playing in the background. Not sure what happened to it, but we'll work on that next time. Just a few technical difficulties. However, Gucci Mane just dropped an album this past week, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know that. It is really, I guess it's a pretty good album. It's called Woptober. Gucci he actually drops a little bit better things than this, but I'm okay with it. It was all right. It was 13 tracks on it, like I said. The album is okay. Some good tracks on there that you should listen to. Big Booty featuring Megan Thee Stallion. That track actually came out like 2 weeks ago. I loved it then when it came out. Big Boy Diamonds featuring Kodak Black in London on the track. That was pretty dope. And Bucking the System featuring Kevin Gates. That was my favorite track on the album too. So y'all take a listen to Gucci Mane. Let me know what y'all think. More features on there. Young NBA is on there. The Baby's on there. Lil Baby's on there. Quavo. OJ the Juice Man's on there. So take a listen to Woptober. That's Gucci Mane's album that just came out this past week. G-Eazy, Scary Nights. That album came out this week as well. It's got 8 tracks on it. Got really good production like he normally does. I wasn't too impressed with the lyrics, but I mean, it's G-Eazy. I mean, you got G-Eazy fans. G-Eazy fans love the way G-Eazy goes. And of course, it's still got that Cali bounce to it. So big ups to G-Eazy for dropping that album. It's only got 8 tracks on it, so I listened to it real quick. It was pretty decent. It got me through the day. It got me through that 1 hour that I had at work. So some Apple Show tracks on that one that I liked. Full Time Capers featuring Moneybagg Yo and French Montana. And Demons and Angels featuring Miguel in the Game. That was my favorite track on there. Some other features on there. Gunna, Dex Lopper was on there. And Bream. That was he was on that album as well. Cash Doll. This might have been my favorite album of the week, y'all. She dropped an album called Stacks. Got 17 tracks on it. Great production and pretty decent lyrics. And then, okay, so when you're from Chicago and you say the word decent, that means it's good. Like, it's really good. So it's got some decent lyrics on it. So Amazing is on there. It's a good track on there. Paid Bees, I have to say Bees on the radio, but Paid Bees is on there. Kitten featuring Lil Wayne, I think that might have been my favorite track on there as well. And then Crazy featuring Luke Got Cash, I like that track as well. Trey Songz is on there. Summer Walker is on there. Tiana Taylor is on there. She put out a quality album. Cash Doll put a quality album. So big up to Detroit and Cash Doll for putting that out there right quick. Guap Dad 4000 dropped his album yesterday. So this is what I hate about this. So Gucci, Cash Doll, and G-Eazy put their albums out earlier in the week, right? Most people put their albums out on Fridays. My show is on Saturdays. It don't give me a lot of time to listen to stuff, man. So I get frustrated, but I do as much as I possibly can. So Guap Dad 4000, he told everybody earlier in the week that he's going to drop his album, so I was waiting on it. And he came through. 13 tracks on there. Good album, good production, great features. He got real personal on the album too, so y'all make sure y'all take a listen to that. My favorite track on there is probably Gucci Pajamas. He actually dropped that track, I want to say a couple weeks back as well, featuring Chance the Rapper. It's about a girl that he can't get enough of, but he needs to stop because every time she come over, something ends up missing out his closet. So so listen to that one. Jigga Juice's Prayer is dope. Rolex Rockstar featuring Buddy. I love Buddy. Part of that with Guap Dad, part of that Dreamville gang. And Prada Process featuring Black is on there. Tory Lanez is on there as well. G-Eazy's on there. E40, Nef the Pharaoh is dope. Make sure y'all go listen to that. And then of course, finally, Kanye West dropped Jesus is King yesterday. 11 tracks. Now, I listened to this album real quick. And when I say real quick, I mean real quick. The album itself the whole album is 27 minutes long. 27 minutes. Yes.
He stay doing that.
27 minutes long, yo. So, good. It got me bouncing. I was actually sitting in my cubicle at work, and it kind of got me bouncing as soon as it came on with the track Every Hour. And I was like, okay, it's a gospel album. I'm letting you all Kanye fans know. Ever since he came out with Sunday Service and he made the announcement a couple weeks back, he's only doing gospel music. He's not rapping anymore. We'll see about that. But Every Hour is a good song. Everything We Need, he remixed that one. I really like that song featuring Ty Dolla $ign. He actually has a line in there on the second verse. It's like, what if Eve made apple juice? You gonna do what Adam do, or say, let's put this back on the tree because we have everything we need? So y'all take a listen to that one. He was spitting some stuff on that one. He's got a song called Water on there. That was a single that he actually released a couple weeks back. God is dope on there. Hands On, and he was real honest in that one. Another track that I loved more than anything, I think everybody loved this because they continue to talk about this, is Use the Gospel featuring Clips and Kenny G. Not just Pusha T. Both of them, Clips and Malice is both on there. Malice is on there too.
I thought he stopped rapping.
Well, this is a gospel album. So Malice is on there. So both. So we got the full Clips crew on there as well as Kenny G. Who thinks of that? Let me get Clips and Kenny G on that same track. Hey, take a listen to it. It's pretty dope. Some other albums that dropped out this week. Akande, he dropped that. This is the second album he dropped this month, or in the last 2 months. So Akon has an album. Tank dropped Evolution. All Black and Offset, they dropped Offset Jim dropped the album, a compilation album called 22nd Ways. And Jordan Banks, Blood on the Vinyl, he dropped the album as well. So y'all make sure you take a listen to those. Sorry I couldn't listen to those in time because I had Guap Dad and Kanye and all these other albums I had to evaluate for y'all, so I had to prioritize. Sorry about that. All right, some new movies that came out in theaters just recently. Black and Blue. Y'all, I know y'all been paying attention to this one. Is a New Orleans rookie policewoman witnesses the murder of a known drug dealer that's committed to and it was committed by some corrupt cops. She suddenly finds herself running from those that want revenge from the murder and fellow lawmen as well, with only one person from the community that is willing to help. It is starring Naomi Harris, Tyrese Gibson, Mike Coulter, Frank Grillo. Y'all make sure y'all take a look at that. That is in theaters right now. Countdown is another movie that's in theaters about a desperate woman who's trying to find a way to save her life when she downloads an app that predicts their exact time of death, which is only 11 days. So that one is pretty cool. I thought that was something that somebody might need to go take a look at. It's got Tashina Arnold from Martin on there. Jeannie Mai is in there. Elizabeth Lyle, and as well as starring Ann Winters. And then for the kids, this actually came out 2 weeks ago, but I got to put something in there for the kids because I know my kids want to see this. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. This is that Disney movie, starring Angelina Jolie. Maleficent is back in the game, back to gaining respect when a formidable queen, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, comes between her and Princess Aurora. So make sure y'all go take a look at that. Next week, of course, Dr. Sleep is coming out. That's a horror movie that's coming out for Halloween. So, just check out the things that are theaters right now. And for those of y'all that are like me, and we don't really have the funds to be going to see movies all the time, here's what's on Netflix. All right, so Dolomite is My Name is currently on Netflix. It's the story of Rudy Ray Moore, the godfather of rap, who proves critics wrong by making his way to the top with funny kung fu fighting his funny kung fu fighting alter ego. Whew, mouthful. Starring Eddie Murphy, Mike Epps, Snoop Dogg, Wesley Snipes, Keegan-Michael Peele, Chris Rock, T.I., Craig Robinson, whole bunch of huge cast in there. Y'all make sure y'all go check a look at that. That's on Netflix. Rhythm and Flow is actually on Netflix. It's a reality TV hip-hop competition series with main judges T.I., Chance the Rapper, Cardi B, and other celebrity appearances on there like Fat Joe and Snoop Dogg to help pick hip-hop artists that'll go to the top. And it's kind of like with the Voice. It's kind of like The Voice. Yep, it's pretty dope. Y'all go take a look at that. Netflix series as well. I've been watching this one, Raising Dion. It's about a boy and his widowed mother who discovers he has superpowers. He can transport. He can do telepathy and much more. While trying to learn more about his capabilities and where they came from, they must keep it secret in order to stay together. So this is a beautiful woman is on this playing the mom. Her name is Alicia Wainwright. Josiah Young is actually Dion, and the dad is played by Michael B. Jordan. So I know when I said Michael B. Jordan before, I got a lot of screams from ladies on electronically, which is crazy because nobody really talks to me in studio, so that's weird. Anyway, and then The Laundromat is actually on Netflix as well. Two lawyers use an insurance scam to con rich people out of their money and hide it from them. One of their victims begins her search to track them down. That is Meryl Streep. It's also in it is Gary Oldman, Antonio Banderas, Sharon Stone, David Schwimmer, James Cromwell, and a whole host of other people. Make sure y'all go take a look at that. There's other things that are on Netflix right now that are series. Y'all take a look at that stuff. Whew, a lot of stuff going on this week. All right, let's get back to Brandon. So let's talk about Indian Summer, bro.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so In My Living Room, that living room is a dope track on there. Are you playing this one as like is this gonna be like a single? That was your single off the album?
Yeah, that was pretty much the single off the album. Good performance piece. Every time I perform it, everybody love it.
So you put in there. So when I listened to it, initially I thought it was about a place of security or a personal place of sanctuary where somebody goes to, for themselves. And then the more I listened to it, I began to think that the living room is life, and the living room is where you dream of life until death. You dream about life until death. Am I correct in both of those? Or
both, actually.
Okay.
Both are spot on, actually.
Oh, okay.
You really you listen to lyrics, man.
I was a philosophy major.
I see. I see. So it's both. So like the safety of it is just like, even in the hook I say, there's a war outside, but I promise you I know the cops dare not shoot inside my living room. Right. It was like the place of security. Cause and in the dreaming part is just the concept really came up in my living room. I was like sitting in my living room one day. It's funny, like a lot of my songs just come from like life, real stuff.
That's how it happens.
Kind of go on. But I was sitting in the living room and I just started to think. I think I had my brothers over and we was like maybe drinking something and having some food or something.
Okay.
Talking about our dreams and goals and things like that. And I just sort of thought about, man, what's the best place to be when you're talking about dreams and you feel safe and you feel comfortable,
right,
in the living room.
Bro, of course.
You sit down on the couch, put on the TV, put on some music, and it's just a place where everybody kind of comes together, and you everybody you can just be you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I try to reach with the song.
Yeah, and you know what? That actually is pretty cool, and the fact that it rolls around to now because that song was recorded in 2018, but when it comes to your living room and being in your safe place right now with the things that have been happening in Texas, with the cops busting into people and shooting them while they're in their living room, like, so I mean, when I listened to this, I immediately went right to that spot. You know what I mean? So
I never made the association, actually.
You see what I'm saying? That's what made me. I was like, wow, like, you know, this is supposed to be your place of security, sanctuary, and stuff like that. And then immediately actually thought right about what these two the people that were actually shot in Texas by the police officers when they bust into their apartments. Wow. So you see how your music just you got to go back.
In that?
You got to go back, man.
I'm about to steal that from you, man. My new promotional campaign. I'm stealing that from you, bro.
So you really don't have much. When I was listening to both Trials of a Soul and Indian Summer, you aside from that one little part that's in like the second verse of Living Room, you don't really have many songs about like love songs or anything like that, or things about that are for the women. For I guess that's what record labels kind of want you to do, but you don't really have much about that. Why not?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. It's just not something that I like really sit and think about consciously trying to create a song for that reason. And then the second part of it is that, you know, I think I create songs for women. And the reason I say that because I think there's a stigma in music right now to where to make a song for a lady, it's got to be a certain thing. Yeah. But ladies like conscious rap too.
Yeah, they do.
Ladies, you know, it's assuming that ladies can't understand what we talking about in other songs. But to your point, I actually am working on a song like that with an artist, with a female artist.
A female artist.
Okay. Right now, I'm not gonna say everything right now because we working on it, but
I
will in the future be diving into more of that territory. It's just not something that, like when I sit down and put my pen to pad, I don't really think about it.
Right.
And no disrespect to the ladies, I love the ladies. I love it. Like even when I do Living Room, if you never been to one of my shows, but like like when I do the show, like when that verse, I always pull a woman from the crowd.
Okay.
Pull a woman from the crowd and sort of kind of get intimate and, you know, let that be her space.
Okay.
And it works every time, and it's because it's genuine, right?
Okay.
Like, so I do have that element. It's just not something that I focus on all the time. Mm. It's just when it's natural, it just comes out like in Living Room. Yeah, it just comes out naturally.
Hey, Living Room was a hot track. Y'all make sure y'all go listen to that because it's on his Indian Summer album, which came out in 2018. I love Living Room. I want to ask you about a lyric that you actually had previously. It was like, you said, I keep a brother close by with hate in his heart to let those brothers know we ain't too far apart. But I keep a brother close by with love in his soul to let the world know my heart's made of gold. What brought that line about? Because, dude, what happened when I heard that? You typically hear you typically hear somebody say, you know, you keep your enemies close and you keep your enemies, your friends close and your enemies closer. When you said this, you kind of say you keep your enemies close, but you letting them know that you still got love for them because we come from the same spot. I'm thinking, but what made you write that line? Because that when I heard that, I'm like, bro, like he's keeping. It's so positive. It's still positive that he's even keeping his enemies. He's letting his enemies know that he still loves them.
Right.
So did I just explain that answer?
In a way. So in my lyrics, a lot of time I do like a lot of double entendres.
Yeah, you do.
I do a lot of double entendres to where there's like a dual meaning, right? Mm-hmm. So the surface meaning, it's funny you just caught that. So I was gonna give you the surface answer.
Okay.
But then I was gonna dive into what you just said. The surface answer is this guy right here. That's my brother.
Okay.
So I was kind of like talking about him. I keep it close by with hate in his heart, just to let. It's almost like where we grew up at, right? We grew up in a place where being nice it could be a weakness.
Yeah.
So it's almost like letting you know, like, hey, look, I still got that in me, right? I keep with hate in his heart, just to let them know we ain't too far apart,
right?
But then I keep them also close by with love in his soul, just to let you know my heart is made of gold.
Man.
So it's like it's the duality of saying that, hey, I'm from here. So don't test me.
Right.
But at the same time, that's not what I'm on. My heart is made of gold.
Okay.
That's the surface, and then what you explain is the deeper dive into loving my enemies type of thing too.
Okay. All right.
It's crazy.
See,
it's crazy you caught that.
Dude, so I caught the deep dive into it. So I was thinking too much.
Because you a thinker.
Yeah.
No, you caught both of them.
Okay.
You're a thinker.
Because I was like, bro, when he said that, I rewound that back like 3 times. Like, man, this one is like, that was a deep line right there. That was
Appreciate
a deep
it.
line. All right. So, you speak a lot about Black royalty in your songs, and like you talked about heritage. What do you think are some people? What do you think we can do as a people? Or we should do as a people to bring that mentality of kings and queens back?
I think just keep having conversations like this one. You know, I think if we just continuously have conversations about who we are, where we come from, where we're going, then I think it'll just naturally come back.
Okay.
I don't feel that royalty is something that you should have to attain to. I feel like it's something that you just are, and you just express it.
Okay.
Like you walk into a room and you feel
Like
just
a king,
a
like
king,
powerful.
and it comes from being genuine.
Yeah.
Like I've studied like kings and stuff like that. Actually, my name comes from Mansa Musa, which was a 13th century African king. So I've studied somewhat. I'm not gonna say I'm a historian, but I've studied somewhat. In my realm of what I can study, right? And what I've learned is the kings that are the most successful are always the ones that are the most personable.
Yeah.
And the ones that have a heart for people.
The most loved.
They're the most loved. Like this thing, love or fear, right?
Yep.
You kind of have a little both if you're in that position, but you kind of want to be loved more than feared.
Right.
Because if you feared, that same fear, once people stop fearing you, then guess what happens? Overthrow. Right?
Yeah.
But when people love you, they love you forever.
Yep. And that's pretty much what's going on with Donald Trump right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what's going on with Donald Trump.
You can be unfeared.
Yeah.
It's hard to be unloved.
Yep.
When people love you, it's hard to really become unloved.
See, you preaching.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought about opening up a church?
Nah, we ain't going that far. Somebody told me that a long time ago, and I'm like, nah, I can't sit in one place. I don't think I can ever sit in one place.
Oh, man. Okay.
I ain't gonna say never. I'm 31 now, so we'll see. But that ain't really my goal.
Check this. So speaking on which, I'm gonna ask you this question, and then we're gonna play $1 million.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna play $1 million from Trials of a Soul. You have a militant delivery in your flow. Like, and in your flow, and when your voice comes across, it reminds me of like the way that you pronounce your words, the way it carries over the music. Like the baby kind of has that kind of that tone to him, and it makes people really pay attention to it. So, but when I listen to you, it's like I picture Malcolm X standing on a soapbox in the corner. Like, and then people crowding around as he's on his bull. You don't even need a bullhorn because your voice carries over the music that much. And would you and Malcolm X was like a profound leader. Would you consider yourself to be a leader, or have you ever thought about trying to lead?
Not pronouncing myself a leader, because I don't feel like, in my opinion, I don't feel like true leaders ever have to pronounce themselves leaders.
Oh, good read. Just good.
I think I've become one in my own right just by what we just said before this, which is actually a good segue. Just being able to have love of the people because you have love for the people.
Right.
And so I have genuine love for people. Period. Like I love, seeing people succeed.
Yeah.
Artists, they hit me up and in my inbox and ask questions about this, and I genuinely give them what I have. Like I'm not gonna say I'm the model to follow. Obviously, everybody has their thing. So some people ask questions, and I just genuinely want to see people succeed. So if that makes me a leader, then I guess so in a certain right. But I don't get caught up in that. To be honest with you, man, I just get caught up in wanting to see everybody succeed and wanting people to pass a certain level in life, and if I can be a catalyst to help them, then yeah, I guess I am a leader. But it's not something I think about all the time. No.
All right, man. Well, I think you could be. I think you could be a great leader. Like I think you have a great following because of your positivity, because of the way you see it, you view it, especially coming from Chicago, what you've experienced, and how you see the world and how you see these experiences. And you don't go in that negative way. You always go the positive way. You're so uplifting in your music. I think if you use your words to be, maybe even I thought about being an activist in some way. I think that you would be great, really successful at it, and you make a positive influence on a lot of people.
Appreciate that, man.
I really do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be right back. We're gonna go to commercial. We're gonna play Brandon's $1 Million. We're gonna play that. And then we got another track on here. It's called Like That. It's from an artist in California, from Stockton, California. His name is FX Max. He just dropped a new song. He threw this at me, asked me to play it. I thought it was pretty dope.
Okay.
So actually, you let me know what you think about that.
For
all
sure.
right, too.
For
And
sure.
then of course we got to talk about the retro rundown, what's going on in the industry. So we'll be right back. And I got more questions for Brandon. We're gonna do our rapid fire session.
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll be right back. Y'all keep it locked on the edgeonair.com. The Nightcap. This is your boy Retro J. We'll be right back. Keep it locked. Yo, that was FS Max with Like That remix. That was a dope song. Shout out to Very Nine Productions and FS Max out there in Cali with that Cali bounce. I really appreciate it. We was vibing to that one, yo. We was all in here vibing to that one. Y'all make sure y'all check out FX Max on Instagram. Shout them out. Let them know what you like about the Like That remix, because I thought it was dope. But we got Brandon Musa here with his we actually just played $1 Million from the Trials of a Soul album. Yo, $1 Million is dope. That's a dope track. We loved it here and everything. So quick questions, because you getting ready. We only got like 9 minutes left. So what I want to do is I want to hit you with some rapid fire real quick.
do it.
All right. So it's either or. You can't be like, well, I'll let you pass. You should. What makes it difficult is the fact that you may not be able to pass on this. So let me know what you think. All right.
All right.
So fact or fiction?
Fact.
All right. Truth or dare?
Dare.
Faith or love?
Yup. That's a tough one.
Yep.
I'm going love.
Okay. Jordans or Yeezys?
Jordans.
Rap or go to the league? If you could ball, can you ball?
I can ball. I can't pick both.
Yeah.
I'm a rap.
Okay. Snitch or do time?
I'm gonna have to take that bid, man. I can't.
Okay.
Can't go out. I can't take the Tekashi route. I'm gonna do my time.
And that's where that came from too.
Yeah, I'm doing my time, dog.
All right. Fight or flight?
Of course, fight.
Okay. Live forever or die wealthy?
Live forever, baby. One of my songs.
Okay. Faith or wealth? I'm sorry. Fame or wealth?
Wealth.
Okay. Wife or kids?
You gotta get me in trouble, man. I gotta answer that. Dang.
Oh, glad I'm not on the hot seat.
Man, you know what, bro?
I might let you get away with both on that one.
I gotta take both, because I ain't gonna. She'll listen to this, man, and I can't do that.
All right, I'll let you get away with both.
That's
on
my
that
one freebie.
All right. Cole or Kendrick?
Dang. Cole.
Okay. Me Too or Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter.
All right. That was the rapid fire with Brandon Musa. I wanted to see what
Keep me in trouble on
that. I've been trying to create some difficult things for people.
All of Me Too is gonna be like, what? Really?
Well, really? That don't mean we don't support you. That doesn't mean that it's an either
kind
or
of world we live in.
We love you, ladies. We do. We really do. We really do. You did mention what made me ask you that Cole or Kendrick question. You did mention in your albums. You mentioned Nas, J. Cole, Pac, Kendrick, Chance. You actually mentioned Jay's. Are those your influences?
Yeah, for sure. Like growing up, I listened to a lot of, obviously, the former, like Nas and Pac. And then during my growing years, kind of had some similarities in J. Cole's music, or what some of the stuff I was going through, and Kendrick. I'm a little more closer to J. Cole just far as like some of his. Some of his like the things he talk about. Yeah, it's a little more on point with what I kind of do. But I like Kendrick too. Chance, I listen to Chance. Jay, obviously Jay.
Obviously.
What's my favorite Jay? I like, what's that song? Mama Loves Me, My Mom Loves Me. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I just remember being in the kitchen, beating on the table, rapping.
Yep.
Listening to that too. So
I'm sure everybody was doing that at that time.
Yeah, with the pen.
Yep. Bro, so Who else do you listen to? Like other genres influenced you? Because a lot of rappers like they go right out of their genre.
Yeah.
So
I listen to a lot of Coldplay.
yeah.
I listen to a lot of Coldplay. Obviously, I listen to all of the Marley brothers, Steven, Ziggy, Bob Marley. I listen to all that. Pretty much, man. I actually listen to a lot of. I like some Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, I like Pink Floyd.
Some Pink Floyd. I like the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. Music is music. I love music.
Music is amazing. It's like a common bond between everybody.
Of course, it's that
marijuana.
feeling. What I try to do in my music, honestly, it's just like, what I try to do in my music is like, forget that I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
I just want you to vibe and just feel what I want you to feel in the moment. Because that's what music's supposed to be about.
Yeah, I was actually, I don't know if you've been paying attention to my Instagram. Like lately, I actually got challenged by somebody to put in your top 10 like albums of that influenced you in your life without any explanation.
Yeah.
And like the very first one I put on there was Quincy Jones' Back on the Block. And so that one is just like it introduced me to that because Quincy's known more for like his jazz music, but like that introduced me to music, period. Like everything about it. He got a cappella songs on there. I mean, just composition, everything. And actually that one actually it came out in, I want to say that came out in the 80s. Quincy Jones' Back on the Block came out in the 80s. But like that one, all types of stuff on there. And like that introduced Tevin Campbell. It was like a lot of introductions on there. Have you ever heard The Secret Garden? That's on that album too. So check that.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, that one introduced me to music. That was hot right there. So y'all, Brandon, what else you got going on? Tell everybody where we can catch you, where we can see you, when next album coming out, everything. Let us know what's going on. What's up?
All right, so I don't have any dates right now as far as performance. We kind of getting back into the swing of everything. We just celebrated my mom's anniversary, so it's been a little hectic.
Okay.
So we getting back in. I don't have any dates right now, but I got new music out. I got new music on the way.
Okay.
I've recorded a lot of songs over this period that I'm getting ready to release. I got another single that I'm gearing up to get released.
Oh, dope. We excited about that.
We still running, man.
Of course. Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, for sure. So it's Brandon _Musa on Instagram.
Okay.
Brandon Musa everywhere else.
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, pretty much everywhere is just Brandon Musa.
Okay.
I got a website, www.musa-music.com.
Okay.
Some content on there. Both of my albums on there. Some questions, some info about me on there.
Okay. Yeah.
And things like that. Pretty much, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate it. This was dope.
I had a ball, man.
This is dope. Sure. I loved it. We love your music. Y'all, we got to have you back up here, especially when you drop your new stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have Brandon's going to send me some Indian summer stuff so that we can throw that on here.
Throw it in there.
Because we need that too. Because that's hot. That stuff is hot. We love your old stuff too. We love it. But we need some new stuff, bro.
Got you.
So like I said, Brandon's here. We really appreciate you coming. We really appreciate you coming. Make sure you all tune into the Nightcap every Saturday. Next week, I believe I'll be on Evolution Pop instead of the edgeonair.com because we're going to have some people. We got some topics we need to talk about. So that's Talk Radio, just in case you all didn't know that. But I'll be on Evolution Pop, the Nightcap, your boy Retro J. Make sure you tune in every Saturday at _NITEKAP on IG. And then you can go to Evolution Pop's Facebook page and watch me do the show live there. Or you can, of course, listen to Evolution Pop on evolutionpop.com. All right. And then, of course, we'll be back on the edgeonair.com the following Saturday. And we'll have another guest. We'll have Brandon back on another time as well.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. A lot of stuff coming from the Nightcap and your boy Retro J. And so I'm going to leave y'all right now with Front Door. This is another one from Max, from FF's Max out there in Stockton with the Cali Bounce. So y'all stay tuned. Keep it locked. Make sure you tune in next Saturday. All right. So I'll holler at y'all and good seeing you. Brandon, appreciate it, bro.
Always, man.
Thank you so much.
Back,
all right.
bro.
We'll be back. All right. Later.